What if I told you that cutting carbs is the exact reason you still can't lose that stubborn belly fat? You see, the truth is, carbs aren't the problem. Your metabolism is. And once you understand how to fix that, you'll start burning fat week after week like clockwork without starving yourself or having to give up the food you love. So if you want me to show you how this actually works, full screen the video and let's lock in. I've spent the last nearly 7 years now coaching men all over the world to get leaner, stronger, and healthier using the exact method I'm going to take you through today. But you know what's funny? When I first start working with a client, we'll discuss their goals and then I'll give them calorie and macronutrient targets to aim for. So protein, carbs, and fat. But half of them take the target I've given them, which is already putting them in a calorie deficit, and eat even less. It's like they've got a voice in their head that's telling them, well, if I just eat less than Doug's told me to, maybe I can take a shortcut and lose the weight even faster. And on the face of it, I get it. It sounds great. But the reality is very different, because when we flip the script and focus on eating more of the right food, everything changes. Your energy levels skyrocket, your workouts improve, you lose fat, you build muscle, but most importantly, you stick with it because now you're not trying to starve yourself. The problem is that we've been told for years that eating less, and particularly eating less carbs, is the only way that we can lose weight. But the truth is the whole eat less, move more mindset is not only exhausting, it's unsustainable. Sure, starving your body might lead to temporary results, but it creates long-term problems. And this is where most diets fail. Because when you severely restrict your carbs, 4 things happen. Number 1, your body starts to fight back. It's wired for survival, not aesthetics. So when you eat too little, your body starts to slow your metabolism down to conserve the energy. But as a result, it also makes it a lot harder for you to lose the weight. Number 2, you feel like garbage. Low energy, brain fog, irritability, and of course, constant hunger. These are all signs that you're underfueled. But the worst one of all is that you lose your drive. Everything is going to feel hard. Number 3, you lose muscle and not fat. You see, when you're not getting enough calories and protein, your body will start to break down muscle for energy. Energy is always your body's priority, not looking good. But muscle is also key for a strong metabolism. So losing it is a double whammy. And then number 4, if things were bad enough already, you're more likely to quit. Because let's face it, no one can survive on salads and water forever. The reality is when you're constantly hungry and deprived, it's only a matter of time before you binge or give up altogether. So this becomes this vicious cycle that most guys fall into. They cut their carbs and their calories drastically. They feel hungry and tired. They give up, they binge, they regain all the weight, and they feel awful about it. Maybe that sounds familiar to you, but the problem isn't you. It's just the strategy, because that strategy is very short-termist. You want to think bigger picture. Food is your body's fuel. A calorie deficit is also known as an energy deficit. And the bigger the deficit, the less energy you're going to have. And the less energy you have, the less you're going to do. The less you do, the fewer calories you burn. Do you see what I mean? How we're creating this vicious cycle. So we want to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit, but we also want to make sure it's sustainable. That's why I recommend my clients aim to just lose 1 to 2 pounds of fat a week. Listen, it's not sexy, but it works in the long term. And a pound of fat might not sound like much, but this, actually, let me just grab it. This, you see, aiming to burn a pound of fat a week, you're not going to find it hard to stay consistent. And before you know it, the weeks will fly by and you've lost 10, 20, maybe even 50 pounds. All without really trying. To burn a pound of fat a week, you need to create a 3,500 calorie deficit, because that's how many calories are in one of these. You could do that by sticking to a 500 calorie deficit every single day. But in my experience, that's not a good idea. Why? Well, because we're not robots. Let me just get rid of that. You see, every day is different and life often gets in the way. Traffic jams, sickness, kids, hangovers, angry bosses, train delays, you name it. Some days you just want to track your calories, and other days you're just going to really need that extra large pizza. So you want something more flexible, something that's going to work for you in the long term. So instead of stressing over it daily, what you want to do is multiply your daily deficit target by 7 and look at it like a weekly budget, just like you might your finances. So let me walk you through an example and then I can show you what this means. The quickest way to calculate your calorie deficit is to take your body weight in pounds and multiply it by 14. That's going to give you something called your maintenance calorie number. Now, this is the number of calories you'd eat if you just wanted to maintain your current weight, if you just wanted to stay the same. So let's say you weigh 200 pounds, okay? You're going to multiply that by 14. That's going to give you 2,800 calories. That's your maintenance calorie number. Then you want to subtract 500 to get your daily calorie deficit of 2,300. Okay, we following along so far? Now what we're going to do, we're going to take that 2,300, we're going to multiply it by 7 to give you your weekly calorie deficit budget of 16,100. Just round it down to 16,000. So now if you go over by one day, it's not a disaster, because as long as you stay within your weekly budget, which, let's be honest, sounds a lot more attractive than trying to hit the same 2,300 every single day, you're still going to burn a pound of fat per week. This approach is flexible, sustainable, and it doesn't make you feel like a failure when you have one bad day. So zoom out, look at it like a weekly budget, and don't panic when you have one off day. By the way, if you don't want to do all of that maths by yourself, just click the top link in the description under the video and use my free calculator. I'll send you your calorie deficit target and the amount of protein, carbs, and fats you should be aiming for. And I emphasize you because no, these numbers are not generic. They are specific to you and your goal. Okay, so that covers how much you should be eating and why we want a sustainable calorie deficit to actually burn the fat faster. But remember, we're aiming to fuel our bodies here. So we've got more energy to get up and then actually go and burn the calories. Before we get into that though, if you are enjoying the video, do a super quick favor and just click the subscribe button underneath this video. I want to hit that 100K this winter. Dougie wants his silver play button. It costs you nothing and it takes you 1 second, but it really helps the channel grow because it tells YouTube to show you guys videos more like this. When it comes to what you should be eating, there really isn't a perfect diet. There's no superior meal plan. There's no one size fits all because we're all different. We all like different things. We live in different places. We eat different times and we have different budgets, right? So what I've come up with instead is a system with 5 golden rules that I believe anybody can follow. So let's dig into it. Number 1, your diet should be balanced. All 3 macros, your protein, your carbs, and your fats, play an important role. Protein fills you up, it stabilizes your blood sugar, and it helps you to preserve that muscle. Carbs are your body's preferred energy source, and fat supports your hormones and your immune system, particularly important during the winter months. Second, rule number 2, you want to make your diet omnivorous. You don't need extreme protocols like veganism or carnivore. Eat lean meat and fish and eggs and eat the fruit and the vegetables. And then number 3, you want to make it nutrient dense. In other words, limit the amount of processed food, right? They're just empty calories. Eat as much whole nutrient dense foods as possible to optimize your energy, your gut health, and your immunity. Rule number 4 is to keep it quick and easy. You want to make it so that you can do your meals in 20 minutes or less. Listen, I don't have time for 3-hour recipe books, and I doubt you do too. And then finally, rule number 5 is to enjoy the food that you're eating. If you don't love what you eat, you won't stick to it. So remember the 80-20 rule. 80% of your food, the stuff that fuels you, 20% is for fun. You want to find snacks and treats that satisfy your cravings and make it feel like you're cheating on your diet. Because if you do that, you won't binge at the weekends. And listen, I'm not going to BS you. It will take you some time and some trial and error to build this system into your life. But to give you a head start, I've got another gift for you, a free copy of my anti-diet recipe book. It's got 15 meals that are fat burning. They tick all the boxes. They're quick, they're high protein, they're healthy, and in my opinion, they're delicious. And you can grab a copy of it by using the second link under this video. Now, we've fueled your body. Let's use that energy to move more and burn the fat. Now, the good news is it's not hours of cardio or daily gym sessions. The most effective way to burn the fat is to increase your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Fancy word for walking, basically. It's all the calories that you burn outside of the gym, essentially. So, like I say, walking is the best way to boost this. It's low impact. It doesn't require any equipment. It's easy to fit into your day. You can do it while you're listening to music, to podcasts, audiobooks, or even during work calls, which a lot of my clients do. Now, you can break this up into 6 20-minute walks, or you can do a brisk 45-minute walk, and that's going to help you burn about 300 calories. So it doesn't sound like much in one day, but over the course of a week, it's an extra 1,400 calories. Then there's strength training, a game changer for sustainable fat loss, because like I said earlier, it builds the lean muscle, which raises your metabolism so that you end up burning the fat at rest. Now, it's important to say, you don't need daily workouts or 3 hours at the gym. 3 45-minute full body sessions a week is plenty for 90% of guys, as long As you're focusing on compound movements, so things like squats and deadlifts and presses and rows, because they hit the multiple muscle groups, and making sure you're training with intention and intensity as well. But finally, I would say have fun with your movement, join a sports club and have more with your partner, whatever you might do, because when you fuel your body properly, everything starts to fall into place. Eating more of the right food doesn't just help you lose weight faster, it creates this ripple effect in every area of your life. When you eat more, you have more energy. When you wake up feeling energized instead of exhausted, that energy carries into your workouts, your work, and your mood. Now you're moving more, you're burning more calories, and because you've got the drive again, everything that used to feel hard starts to feel easy. You start seeing results, the fat drops, the confidence rises, and you gain strength, energy, and control. In other words, you're gaining momentum, and this is what we call a virtuous cycle. Eating more and moving more. And unlike the crash diets that burn you out, this approach actually builds you up. When you stick with it, the results keep coming week after week, month after month. Anyway, I'll leave the video here, but earlier I mentioned snacks that make it feel like you are cheating on your diet every single day. So if you want to know exactly what they are, then watch this video next, where I'll give you 9 low-calorie, delicious snacks that feel like cheat codes. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.